We bother about diabetes, we bother about hypertension, we bother about cancer, we bother about heart attacks. But what I said in our last podcast that these are the final manifestations. The seeds of diseases are very deeply rooted in the mind.
I'm quite curious because somewhere I think it's relatable to man.
So a man will never see the situation the way a woman sees it. So the conflict is eternal.
This little difference creates the whole mess. Creates the whole mess, the little difference of this gene. Can you give an example of this opportunity? Maybe
The
it
life
will help
itself.
us people.
Yeah, the life itself. So I'm living a life. I have seen hundreds or maybe thousands of different types of situations, and those situations have impacted me. In my book, there's a chapter about relationships. Relationships are very important, and relationships are also unimportant. So relationships ultimately teach you that you have to get out of the relationships. You have forgotten the point. Your role was only to play your part.
I have a question here. Now, say for example, Dharma, as you said, that Dharma is the biggest thing and that's what people should follow. That is the first thing, even bigger than human being, like their existence itself. So when we are doing Dharma, so anyone is performing their Dharma and they are still not convinced with doing that, they're not okay with that, they're not happy with that somewhere inside and they have to do it forcefully. Isn't that still a wrong thing because it's going somewhere against their own will and wish?
No, you have to get sorted inside.
Welcome once again to my lovely audience to our collaborative show with Dr. Vipin Mishra. Dr. Vipin Mishra, thank you once again for having me.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. So, previous podcast, I think we left it somewhere on seeds of diseases. You said that you were talking something about seeds of diseases. Can we elaborate it a little more?
Yeah. So basically what happens is that we bother about diabetes, we bother about hypertension, we bother about cancer, we bother about heart attacks. But what I said in our last podcast that these are the final manifestations. The seeds of diseases are very deeply rooted in the mind. Actually, if you talk in a real sense, then mind itself is the disease. Mind itself is the disease, and again I'm reiterating this point in my discussions, that we have to go beyond the mind. We have to transcend the mind. Only then we can live a proper human life. Because mind is like a very preliminary thing, a very primitive instrument through which we are like executing our life. It's like a plastic toy which children play with. And we are trying to navigate all our life through the mind only. So there are lots of things in the mind which can be considered as the seeds of diseases. And maybe some of the time we can also discuss the constitution of the mind, the construction of the mind, what mind is composed of, what the various portions of the mind.
I'm quite curious because somewhere I think it's relatable to man, what we call as man, one of the 5 elements of what do you call Mo? Mo comes from man and everything, all these feelings and emotions.
Go into that a little bit. So basically, mind can be divided into composing of 5 basic elements: Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar.
Right.
Kam is the desire for sensory gratification, and Krodh is anger. Lobh is greed, more and more, which can be attached to anything. Moh is attachment to people, attachment to positions, attachment to wealth, attachment to lots of things. And Ahankar is
Ego.
Ego means the feeling of myself as an identity. I have a feeling inside me somewhere, who am I? So that who am I part is very important. So these are the 5 basic elements which constitute the mind. Then there are various types of minds. So one basic division in the mind is the masculine mind and the feminine mind. They're 2 opposite minds. So a man will never see the situation the way a woman sees it. So the conflict is eternal. So either they avoid each other and they don't go into personal spaces of each other. But when it's a question of spouses, husband and wife, then they cannot avoid each other. Then they will keep on fighting with each other, because husbands will never understand what's the big fuss about that. And the wives will never understand that a stupid person can't see the simple,
True.
straight things.
Why is taking things so lightly?
So one is a testosterone oriented mind. The other is a estrogen dependent mind, or more importantly, a mind which develops in the absence of testosterone. So absence of testosterone is the decider rather than the effects of estrogen. So if you would talk to me about what is one basic element which writes the destiny of the mankind, that is a small tiny gene on the Y chromosome, is called the SRY gene. The SRY gene makes the gonad develop as a testicle. So to begin with, in a embryo, the gonad is bipotential. Mm-hmm. The gonad can develop either as a testicle or as an ovary. So it is this tiny gene, the SRY gene, which dictates that in this particular embryo, this gonad will ultimately develop into a testicle. Now, that tiny gene is invisible and it is practically unknown to the whole humanity. But when ultimately it causes the testicles to develop, which make testosterone, and testosterone writes then the whole human destiny. All the wars which are going on in the world, they are because of testosterone. Man cannot live silently. Man cannot live peacefully. Man has to fight. And you see, they feel great pride in saying that it's a man-dominated world. It's a shame that it's a male-dominated world. I tell you something very interesting. The people who are fighting in the wars, the soldiers who are killing each other in the wars, they are all men. These are all armies of men who invade countries and plunder the countries and destroy the civilizations and molest women of that country. So all these armies of men, those men are somebody's husband, somebody's son, somebody's brother, and somebody's father. Do you think any woman will allow her husband or brother or son to go and kill in the battlefield?
True.
Had it been a woman-oriented world, there would be no wars in the world. The world would be more creative.
Statement.
But yes, the problem is that because testosterone leads to physical strength, and in an animal world from where we have all evolved, it is the physical strength that decides everything. So it became a male-oriented society, a male-dominated world, and we are paying the price for that. Okay, so one basic difference in the minds, the feminine mind is also made up of those 5 basic characters. The masculine mind is also made up of those 5 basic characters. But yes, their orientations are different.
This little difference creates the whole mess. It creates the whole mess, the little difference of this gene.
The small difference, the very small difference has created the whole story. And then, yes, there are different personalities and orientations also create attraction towards each other. So if that attraction was not there, then the humanity would not develop at all. Then minds could be either extrovert or introvert. So introvert people will like to go deeper within themselves, and the extrovert people will be more social, more dominating, so they will be more successful in businesses and presentations, and also they will be rulers and emperors. So these are the basic the basic arrangement of mind, and it is the mind which dictates the genes. So mind is supreme, and in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells us that in the final stages of life, when one is about to die, then actually you have a mind at every stage of your life. When you were a child, you had a child's mind. Then you became a teenager, you had a teenager's mind. Then you had the mind of a young adult. And so gradually the mind is changing. Now I have the mind of an old person. So the mind is gradually changing and evolving. So there'll be a final day for me. Now, this day, I'm experiencing that I'm finishing my life. And my mind will have a final orientation. So that conclusive mind with which I will leave this world will decide my next birth.
Oh, is it?
Yes, that mind, because you see, if I am, and this is very, very deep actually, it's a very deep discussion, because mind is a disease. If you see the mind as a disease, then we get opportunities and again opportunities after opportunities to get rid of the mind. And situations will give you sadness, and situations will give you happiness. And then you will be forced to ultimately realize at some point of time that neither the happiness goes very deep inside, nor the sadness goes very deep inside, and everything is very superficial. If you see the layers of your existence, then everything dwells in the superficial layers of the mind. Nothing goes very deep inside. And then life itself makes you understand that there is your deeper existence, which is beyond happiness and sadness.
It's different from subconscious mind?
Oh, subconscious mind is also the mind. Actually, the subconscious mind is the real thing. 90% of the mind is subconscious mind. Only 10% of the mind is conscious mind. And even 10% I am saying that is the mind of very highly intelligent people. It is generally said that Einstein had a 15% or 20% conscious mind. So 15 or 20% of the conscious mind is a ultimate possibility. Normally, we can say that even 95% of the mind is subconscious mind. Nobody decides with a conscious mind that I should be angry.
Very true. Otherwise, they wouldn't get angry.
All the basic problems of life, they all emerge from the subconscious mind. But yes, mind, even if it is subconscious or conscious, everything is a disease. So you have to get rid of the disease, and you get opportunities after opportunities to get rid of the mind. Life teaches you ultimately that don't always dwell at the level of the mind.
Can you give an example of this opportunity? Maybe it will help us people.
Yeah, the life itself. So I'm living a life, I have seen hundreds or maybe thousands of different types of situations, and those situations have impacted me. And in my book, there's a chapter about relationships. Mm-hmm. Relationships are very important, and relationships are also unimportant. So relationships ultimately teach you that you have to get out of the relationships. Relationships are often the biggest attachments. So this is my father, and this is my mother, this is my wife, this is my husband, and this is my son, this is my daughter, and you are attached. No, there's no permanent relationship. All people come into your life to play a small role in your evolution.
But how can you be attached and detached at the same time to family or relationships?
No. You have to just play your role. You have to just play your duty, do your duty. So that is what I call the path of Dharma. So if you are, for example, I'm working as a doctor, and a patient comes to me. I'm not attached with the patient, but it's my duty to solve his problem. So, that is what the Lord Ram's life tells us. Lord Ram told us one thing, that there is only one thing which humans should follow, and that is Dharma. And you see, Amish has made Lord Ram's story so interesting and so popular all over the world, because he has written in English, and his books are read all over the world. So there is a story from that book, that once Dashrath had gone for hunting, mounted on his elephant, and Ram was on his side, and there were various other helpers and warriors. There was a big entourage, and a leopard leapt on Dashrath. So leopard would have killed Dashrath, but Ram came in between, and that leopard ate a part of Ram's shoulder, mm-hmm. and he started bleeding profusely, but he had his knife in his hand. They were all warriors basically, and they had lots of knives and weapons tucked in various parts of their bodies. So he pierced the abdomen of that leopard, and the leopard died, but Ram also was hurt very, very seriously. Then Dashrath asked Ram, why did you put yourself in danger? So Ram said, because that was my dharma. That was my duty. He said, just because of your duty, or you wanted to become the crown prince, and that's why you did that.
Oh.
Ram said, it is your choice. It is your prerogative whom you make the crown prince. It is not on my part. I cannot think about that. But yes, as a son, it was my duty to save you. He said, do you think that it was only because of Dharma? Ram said, beyond Dharma, there is nothing. And Ram reminded him that one great emperor had once said that Dharma is biggest virtue for human beings. Dharma is bigger than the human beings themselves, and Dharma is even bigger than the gods. And Dasharatha asked which emperor had said that. And Ram reminded him, you had said that on the day of your coronation. So basically, you have to not fall in the trap of what you want. What you want, nobody is asking you. What you want, I mean, that is the disease. If you understand that that is a disease, then you will only like to get rid of that. But you want something and something is not happening, and then you are angry or you are sad or you are this or you are that. But you have forgotten the point. Your role was only to play your part.
I have a question here. Now, say, for example, Dharma, as you said, that Dharma is the biggest thing and that's what people should follow. That is the first thing, even bigger than human being, like their existence itself. So when we are doing Dharma, so anyone is performing their Dharma and they are still not convinced with doing that, they're not okay with that, they're not happy with that somewhere inside, and they have to do it forcefully. Isn't that still a wrong thing because it's going somewhere against their own will and wish?
No, you have to get sorted inside. You have to get sorted inside. In my book, there is a chapter on you have to be self-centered. And that is one of those 15 points also, that you have to be self-centered. So you are not there to correct other people. It's not your job to bring the whole world onto the right path. I told you that is a Talibani attitude. Talibans do that. They are trying to bring the whole society onto the right path. No, you have to just focus on what you have to do. You observe the situation. You observe what inputs you are getting from others. The others, I always relate to a cricket match in which Virat Kohli goes out to bat, and then he will not criticize the bowlers. The bowlers may be tremendous bowlers, and they may be throwing balls which are unbattable. But if he criticizes them, then he will not remain Virat Kohli.
So self-reflection.
He has to understand the situation and then perform whatever best he can. That's all. So first of all, you have to be sorted. You have to be sorted inside. That you have to only make corrections in your personality. So, madam, there are a lot of people who don't actually agree with this point of being self-centered, because the narrative says that you have to help others.
This is what I'm saying, because Dharma is helping others.
That is all junk, absolutely junk. To help others is politics. Do you know, in India, lots of people are helping others. Some people are helping Muslims, some are helping Dalits, and some are helping somebody else and somebody else. They are doing lots of service to others. So you know what the service means. Nobody is serving. And so let us be very practical. So your house is on fire and my house is on fire. Whose house should I save earlier? My house. Because if I don't save my house, then I will be burned with that. And then there will be no possibility for me to do anything for you. So in aircrafts, they say that in the emergency situation of low oxygen, the masks will come down from the over your head container. And then first you have to wear your mask. Then you have to help your child. Because if in the absence of oxygen you finish off, then you cannot do anything. So first of all, I should become a real man to be able to do anything for others. So I have to just look after myself.
But this statement is somewhere very masculine, Dr. Vipin. You know, when it comes to females, they call it very negative that, you know, she is all about herself. She is all thinking about herself. When it comes to men, they can do it because, yes, they are nurturing the family. They feel, you know, they are the showrunner of the family.
No. It has got nothing to do with gender. it has got something to do with very deep understanding. Actually, you are still going by the narratives.
No, I'm actually observing what's happening around, what people come across, what usually
Yeah.
perception people have when they are advised to be self-centered, self-sorted and be aligned, and then they can help others. But when people start doing that, they get criticized that, oh, he or she is just thinking about themselves.
You are doing everything inside you. Nobody will know about that, what your focus of attention is. If your focus of attention is your own life, no outsider will ever know about that, because you are a silent manager of your own life. You're just a silent manager of your own life. And every day you are becoming wiser. And you get a time frame of something like 50 years, 60 years to practice. So it is all about practice. I'm making mistakes even now. Even now, sometimes it happens that the patient says something and I lose my temper. But it has become much, much less now. As a new doctor, when I did my MD and I came into practice, then I had a very hot temper. And anything wrong the patient did, and I would blast him. So now I have mellowed down thoroughly. And now I know that he has to be wrong. And that is why he is a patient. If he was doing everything right,
nice.
then why would he come to me? So right people don't go to doctors. So if there is a person who is coming to me as a patient, he needs my help. He doesn't need my anger. So you see, when you move to a different level of consciousness, then everything appears different to you. The same person whom you were thinking was he was appearing very bad to you, very rude to you, after your consciousness gets elevated, you feel that he is mentally sick and needs compassion and needs some help.
True.
So you'll not feel angry about that person anymore. You will pray for him that he should get into good hands and get the right medicine and become all right. And madam, let us be very logical also. So I'm surrounded by a group of friends, and so you're also my friend. And so I have 20 friends. So do you think I'll be better off if all my 20 friends are weaker than me and poorer than me and less intelligent than me?
Well,
Or
sometimes people do get satisfied with that.
satisfaction takes them into the pit. But if all my 20 friends, they are billionaires and they are very powerful people, then my life is sorted. Then what should I pray for? I should pray for their well-being, or I should pray that I should become bigger than them. Logic, simple logic. So if you become a very powerful person, if you become prime minister of the country, and I'm close to you, then I may get some benefits. Some of my problems back at home may be solved, because now I'm close to the prime minister. So everybody who is close to me, everybody who is known to me, I'll pray for that person, that the person should grow to as big a level as possible. And if possible, I will do everything for that. Something unrelated, but one of my colleagues here, he's a cardiologist, and his name is Dr. Rajiv Lochan.
Oh, I know him.
He's a great person. Yes. He's an extraordinary person, both as a cardiologist and also as a human being. And whenever I have some problem, I go to him and take his advice. And I was discussing with some of my friends that Dr. Rajiv Lochan is one person who cannot misguide even his enemies. He cannot misguide anybody. It is beyond his capacity to give a wrong advice to anybody. So once he said that, why you talk so highly about me and sometimes you overdo it. I told him that, sir, I know Lord Krishna will not come to show me the path. So I have to get guidance from people who are close to me. And I have to create my own Lord Krishnas. So you are one of them who can show me the path. So I take you to the highest possible level. So in various ways, I will take the people around me to the highest possible level, because then my life gets sorted. I'm a very selfish person. But I have learned it in the last 67 years of my life that if I'm really interested in myself, then for that reason I have to help others. Helping, you see, and then at my level of understanding, if someday this thought comes to my mind that I'm helping somebody else or I'm giving something to somebody else, it's a very dirty thought. It's a dirty thought, and I will consider myself fall into the lowest levels of consciousness when I start feeling that I'm doing something for somebody else. No, I'm not doing anything for anybody else because everything is happening by its own accord, by some divine programming. So I'm doing the way the Almighty has programmed me. So, because you see, why I'm not entertaining that thought? Because that thought blocks my progress. That thought that others are benefiting because of me, it is a very, very dangerous thought. It's a dangerous feeling. And I pray to the Almighty that please save me from that type of a grandiose feeling that I am helping anybody. No. Everything is happening on its own accord. I am just a coincidental involvement in some of the things, just coincidental. So, coming back to your basic question, so we talked about the constitution of the mind a little bit, but you talked about the seeds of diseases.
Right.
So everything which is in the mind is a seed of the disease. There are lots of insecurities, and lots of people do lots of things because of their insecurities, sometimes showing it off as their power. Donald Trump is doing lots of things. He's a very insecure person. And the whole world is like cursing him. Why is he doing? And he's not behaving like the president of the most powerful country in the world. And I think he will ensure very soon that his country does not remain the most powerful country in the world. So people have their own insecurities, people have their own greeds, people have their own weaknesses, and they cover it up with something just which is the contradictory of the basic problem. So everything is a disease. Whatever is there in the mind is a disease. So let's talk about one thing, because that one thing is so common, a common cause of disease, the common seed of disease, and that is violence.
I thought you will say expectation.
Well, that is also a disease, yes, but violence. So violence is the seed of the disease, and what is the seed of violence? The seed of the seed? The seed of the seed is a desire to control others. That others should live the way I want them to live. So the most obvious form of violence is the physical violence. That is the grade 1 violence. The grade 1, there are 5 grades of violence. The grade 1 violence is physical violence, that you do according to what I tell you, otherwise I'll kill you.
Okay.
Or I will hit you. So physical violence that everybody knows. But then there is a subtle violence, grade 2 violence. Grade 2 violence is that I will create some conditions because of my position and because of my contacts and because of my powers, that you will have to do what I want you to do. Coercion. It's called coercion.
Coercion.
I'm not physical at all. I'm not even talking in a harsh tone.
True, but still
yes,
getting the job
I'm
done.
managing everything. I'm pulling the right strings. They are actually the wrong strings. I'm pulling them to ensure that the other person precisely does what I want. The third grade of violence is even subtler, even more subtle violence, and that is in various forms, like intellectual terrorism. So if I have more knowledge, then I will prove to you that you are inferior, and then you should follow what I'm telling you. In intellectual terrorism, like the leftist people do in India, and I mean basically any form of domination is a violence, and it is bad. But there are other forms of this third grade of violence, something like emotional blackmailing, that which wives do. You do what I'm wanting you to do, otherwise I will not talk to you.
I was missing this point because our podcast will not go out without talking about wife.
Yes. So this is called emotional blackmailing. Do you know Gandhiji was a very, very violent person, hugely violent person. He publicized the philosophy of non-violence. But I mean, talking something is different, and being something is just the opposite of that. So Gandhiji, what did he say? So the violent person says that you do what I tell you, otherwise I will kill you. Gandhiji said, you do whatever I tell you, otherwise I will kill myself. And if you respect me, then you will follow my command. But at the very root level, there was a desire to control others. I mean, any desire to control others is a disease. It will ultimately give something like a heart attack or something. Those are the ultimate fruits. So the third grade of violence is a very subtle violence. Often it is not understood, but there is a desire to control others. The fourth level of violence is even subtler, and that is expectations from others. Expectations from others is a subtle violence. I'm not talking of business. In business, if I pay for something, I expect it.
True.
So you say you go and buy a pair of jeans, then you pay maybe some 200 dirhams, and you expect the pair of jeans. So, but yes, if it is not business and it is any relationship, then there's no reason why there should be expectations. And if there is an expectation, it should be easily forgotten, whether it is fulfilled or not fulfilled. But I mean, you can just drop a message that I needed this. Not only saying that I expect it from you, just drop a line that I was in dire need of something.
Ask for it.
That's all.
Simple, short.
But yes, if you have a strong expectation from your son or from your daughter, from your parents, from your brothers and sisters, or husband or wife, this is violence. Ultimately, it will kill the person.
But basic expectations are there,
Basic expectation is basic problem.
no? Okay.
Ultimately, it is a problem. And the finest, the highest level of violence, the subtlest of all, is seeing others as others. I told you last time that me and you are made up of the same soil, and me and you are animated by the same energy. It is only the ego in the mind which separates us. So your ego in the mind makes you feel that you are Dr. Anita Madeshia. My ego in the mind makes me feel I'm Dr. Vipin Mishra. But we are the same, I mean, two waves of the same ocean. So if two waves of the same ocean are not able to see the inner unity, the deeper level unity, then it's only a problem of their vision. So when we see from the side, from the what do you call, the beach, you see different waves, then you know very well that all waves are just the same ocean. There's no difference at all. So all human beings are, and not just human beings, all creatures. When Mahavir says that you should not even kill an ant, you should not kill even a germ. So you have seen those Jain people
they wear the mask.
On there.
Yeah.
Because why do they put the mask? Because with the warm air coming out from their breath, some worms and some microorganisms might be killed. No, because Mahavir says that killing anybody is like killing yourself. So that is the highest level of consciousness where everybody should aspire to reach. So whether I will go to that level or not, I mean, I don't know. But why should I not aspire? So this is one seed of the diseases which I discussed with you, because you said, what are the seeds? There are lots of other seeds also. But yes, all the seeds are lodged in the mind only.
But these grades are amazing. I mean, really, many people would not be knowing that, there is some grade 3 also, which we elaborated in a very nice way. Yeah. But then the last one, grade 5, I think this is why people say that, come in my shoes and see. We don't feel people. We don't feel that, somebody is in a situation is also same like me. I think that gap.
Yeah. I will give you the answer to your question. So there are 3 aspects of the human entity: body, mind, and soul. Body is just like an outer covering. I'm wearing this jacket. This is my body. So if this jacket starts feeling that this is the entity, and if others are also not able to see the man inside the jacket, then they will also feel that this is the real entity, and this is moving everywhere. This is driving the car, and then this is coming out of the car, and now it is sitting in front of you. You're in this podcast show. So if this jacket starts feeling that it is the doer of everything, then you can say that this jacket has gone insane. So bodies are like jackets. They are like external coverings. Then the second entity is the mind. So that is the other partner in crime. So mind says that yes, you are the body and you are my slave. So I will give you orders, and you follow my orders. I will take you to the ultimate final point. And mind itself is a very primitive instrument. And so body behaves. The way mind orders, the body behaves. The mind says, I am depressed today. I'm not happy today. Just prepare for me a drink. And the hands open the bottle. The hands pour the whiskey in the glass and mix some soda and ice. And then the mind says, okay, good boy, you have done the right thing. Make me another. Make me the second one. The mind orders the second one. The body follows. You see, there's a lot of terrorism. Terrorism is there, and the terrorists are coming from across the borders, from Pakistan into India. Recently, they killed 26 men in Pahalgam. And I think all the terrorists have been killed by now. And every year we hear that hundreds of terrorists are killed every year. But there is a factory on the other side of the border. So you don't close the factory. You don't close the ecosystem. Then this terror problem will never stop. So ultimately, what I'm telling you is that by an example of violence, I'm telling you is that there are lots of these psychic features, psychic factors, which are the seeds of diseases, which compel people to do what they do, and then they suffer. So if there is a man who is getting a cancer of the lungs because of smoking, then this order of smoking was coming from the mind, that smoke. And why was the order coming? The order was coming because the man was somewhere very deeply unhappy.
Disturbed.
And he was drawing happiness just from that smoke. I remember there was one of my patients who was very unhappy with her husband. And her husband would come back from the office maybe around 8ish, and then open the bottle and will take 2 or 3 drinks and then sleep. And she was very angry with the husband. And but she was my regular patient, and I used to talk to her a lot. And her behavior was so much obnoxious.
Her behavior.
I mean, it was very difficult to tolerate her. So I really thought without few drinks, the man could not
Cannot tolerate her. Okay.
So many times people don't realize that what the other person is doing is because of them. So we create our own realities. So we have something in our mind and we project it on the outside world, and the outside world gets impacted by that. So you must have met lots of doctors because of your work, and you must have seen that every doctor is different. Yes. And every doctor has a different personality. So if you are in touch with, say, 50 doctors, and you are doing business with 50 doctors, and I am one doctor who is unhappy with you, for example, then I can't blame you. Because if you were the reason, then all the 50 doctors should be unhappy. Do you get the point? So if there is a woman with whom her husband is unhappy, and all the men living in that whole locality are happy with her, and they want to spend time with her, then the problem is in the husband.
No, but that will come to know that when they will spend time with that lady, no?
But superficially, at least superficially, a woman who appears very desirable for the whole community of men, how can she be undesirable for one man? So it is something in the man's behavior which is forcing her to behave weird. You see, what I'm trying to tell you, that if I focus on myself, if I'm self-centered, then I can do something with my behavior. If my wife is angry with me, then I take the blame on me. This is what I'm telling you.
But Dr. Webb, in many places it happens that when you start working on yourself, it will feel like the front person will think that, okay, that person is fixing themselves. They will always keep putting it on you only, that you are going somewhere wrong.
No.
Fix it,
I am doing it silently within myself.
Again, the same point, yes.
I'm doing everything, because it's a psychic work. I'm not doing anything for my muscles or for my heart. Basically, I feel that the question, you also asked that question once, how to prevent diabetes. There are lots of people who ask that question, how to prevent diabetes. Do you know what is the meaning of that question? The meaning of that question is how to get cancer. In other words, if somebody is asking me how to avoid diabetes, that means he is asking, sir, tell me how can I get cancer?
How?
I will tell you. So if you talk about the causes of death, the final causes, death is a certain thing. I was born only to die. That was only certainty with I was born. Whether I will become a doctor or an engineer or a politician or something else was not known, was not clear. It was not sure. Only one thing was sure, that I will die. Whoever is born will die. Only one thing is sure. Now, if you count the final causes of death, there are not more than 14, 15 final causes of death, in which you also include roadside accident, if I am run over by a truck or something else, drowning, and me getting eaten up by a jungle animal, then heart attack and stroke and cancer. They're not more than 15. So out of the whole arrangement of 15, one I will get. And now I'm saying I don't want to get diabetes. I don't want to get diabetes, and I don't want to die of diabetic complications. That means I'm putting my money on the remaining 14. So I'm getting somewhat more attracted towards cancer or towards liver failure or towards kidney failure or towards septicemia, multi-organ failure. So if I'm saying that, please tell me how can I prevent diabetes, it's the same thing as saying that how can I shift me getting pulled towards diabetes and I want to be pulled towards cancer or something else.
Some other disease, true.
So why should I avoid development of diabetes? Tell me. You see, and that effort to avoid diabetes will cause something, because that is a mental sickness. That disease is in the mind. There are people who want to lose weight, and there are people who want to do this or do that, to prevent this or prevent that. So they're missing the point. The point is that I have to only achieve one thing in this life, and to know my real form. Who am I? I am not this outer jacket, which is my body. I am not that inner aspect of that jacket, which is my mind. I am that energy which has got nothing to do with body and mind. Nothing. I remember I was watching a video of Swami Sarvapriyanand. He is a great saint. Swami Sarvapriyanand, who lives in New York, and he is chief of the Society of Vedanta, that Advait Vedanta Society of New York. He is the chief of that, and he's a marvelous orator, marvelous. So he was discussing once that, and he was actually quoting somebody else, some other saint. What could be the relationship of body with the soul? And the saint replied, the relationship of foolishness. Because, so if you have got a cough syrup in a glass bottle, and then you ask this very philosophical question, what is the relationship of this glass bottle with that cough syrup? It is the relationship of foolishness only. There is no other relationship. Soul is that element which has got nothing to do with mind or body. Nothing to do. I mean, even glass and cough syrups may have something in common because they are both material. So in that material, some atoms and some molecules may be common. But between soul on one side and mind body complex on the other side, there's nothing common.
This is so beautiful because I know I've heard of this that, everything you can make as a seva. We call it seva, like serving. When you dhyan and you remember the Almighty all in everything. When they say that, in being in this society, being in this world, you can still remember the Almighty in every doing. If you really detach yourself with the body and you just feel the soul and you feel connected to the Almighty. So everything becomes seva. So actually, it's not connected anywhere. The soul and the body is actually not connected anywhere.
So that is what is the goal of life. And that is what the Almighty is propelling you towards. So people have got their petty ideas. Somebody says that I want to have a better salary. Somebody wants to win an election. Somebody wants to become a minister. And somebody wants to have a bank balance. Somebody wants to have something else. So these are petty ideas. And I have finished 67 years. Very soon I will be celebrating my 68th birthday in a few months' time. Then how many more years are left? So whatever I have earned will have nothing to do with me. I don't know whom it will go to and what will people do with that. So it is all very flimsy. My achievements and my name and my fame and my position and my power and my this and my that, they're all very flimsy. So this is my message to the whole world, that because we have forgotten the Almighty's agenda. The Almighty's agenda is that we were all like waves of the divine ocean. And the waves arise not because of their own will. Waves arise because of the will of the ocean. Waves are thrown up just by the energies of the ocean. And there is a silent promise of the ocean to every wave that you go and live your life, and then when you have finished your life, I will suck you back. The Almighty wants to suck us back, and we block that by our petty ideas.
How does it relate to people who want to leave legacy behind them? There's so much of war behind leaving legacy. I want to leave some legacy behind me so that people remember.
It's a very, very foolish idea. Because one of my friends in India, so he is in the same building in which we live in Greater Noida. So he was telling us why he is doing what he is doing. He said, because I want that after my death, people should remember me as a good human being. Why should they remember me as a good human being? If I'm actually a bad human being, answer my question. If I'm actually a bad human being, and I know I'm a bad human being, because some very, very intelligent people have told me that you are a bad human being, and some people have told me that you are not even worth being called a human being. So, if I'm not a good human being, why should people or anybody remember me as and even if they remember, how does it relate to me? No, you answered my question, that Gandhiji was a great person. He was a great person, even while I criticized that he was violent. But I mean, despite that, he was a great person. And you see, many people blame Gandhiji for creating the problems of Hindu and Muslim that we are seeing in India today. But I feel that I have the same attitude towards Hindus and Muslims what Gandhiji had. I feel that they are both similar, absolutely similar. And I have seen so many of Muslim patients in my life and had Muslim friends. I see no difference at all between Hindus and Muslims. So how can I say that this should be the rule for Hindus or that should be the rule for Muslims, this will be the land for Hindus, that should be the land for Muslims? So I think he was a great man. who felt that Hindus and Muslims are really same human beings. Maybe he was feeling them like different waves of the same ocean. So I feel that he was a great person. He was a great person who shook the whole world, and by his way of life, the way he lived, and by his ideology. And Gandhian philosophy is like a great subject in philosophy.
But the legacy.
There is a legacy. But now, answer my question. How is today Gandhiji enjoying that legacy?
Exactly. No answer.
When I am
Where
gone,
is he?
when I am gone, then I will not know anything how Vipin Mishra is remembered or not remembered, or people are spitting on his name or what. I mean, it hardly matters to me. You see, one of the biggest attachments is attachment to self, attachment to Vipin Mishra. And when I start seeing Vipin Mishra as a temporary accompaniment, like some friend whom you get on the train. On a train journey, you see somebody who is sitting next to you, and you start talking to him, and he starts serving you, and he starts entertaining you, and he starts doing lots of things with you. But then your station comes and you leave him. My station will come and I will leave Vipin Mishra. He is a good entertainer. He has been good entertainment for me, and he gave me a lot of tension also. But I lived with it. So, but when you are unattached with yourself, yourself means there is a real entity that you are. You cannot be unattached with that. That you anyway you are. But your mind-body system, which has got a name, which has got a description, which has got a CV, and you are totally detached with that. So it hardly matters. Now you tell about legacy. So now you say, what is the meaning of legacy for me? Zero.
Foolishness. It's actually foolishness.
It is a big zero. So, I mean, for whatever reason, if you are tying yourself with a small time entity, then the small time entity will consume you.
Very true. It really consumes people. Dr. Vipin, I have a very strong question. I mean, that has been a very good discussion about the seeds of disease and, how disease happens really. But I want to ask why you are against human science or the science technology altogether. I know, again, it's going to be a big, it's going to be a good explanation, but at least in short, so that we can continue it further in our next podcast show.
Actually, I'm not against anything. I'm not against anything, and I'm not against anybody. And I feel that medical science is solving lots of human problems. But I am showing the whole global society a path so that they could go beyond the levels where the problem resides. So if at psychic level, you can go to that level where there is no problem and you don't become sick at all, then is it not good for them? If they have a problem, then doctors will help them, definitely. Doctors should help them. Nobody should live in misery. Nobody should live in pain. Myself writing lots of medicines for lots of patients every day. Because if somebody has a problem and comes to me for the solution of that problem, it is my duty and the duty of all the doctors community to solve that problem. But do you not think that's a very lofty goal, that we should not have problems? But yes, I will elaborate that in our next podcast.
That was such an amazing discussion, especially on the seeds of diseases and the mind, especially those 5 grades. I will definitely keep it in mind. And this podcast, especially, I'm going to listen all the time. Thank you so much once again, Dr. Vipin. It was lovely having you.
Thank you very much. The pleasure was mine. And thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Effortless Health by Dr. Vipin Mishra.